So what's it like coming to Club K for your first time for a massage? Well, we've got the big black doors that you can see as you come in through the car park. But you'll see over here there's another set of doors. That's our main entrance. So we're going to come over and come in through those doors. This brings you into our reception area. So just have a little look around there. What you'll also notice is just behind the door is our library. So if you want to have a little look at any books or borrow a book, you're more than welcome, or pick up one of the village newsletters that's on the chairs. And coming through here, we've got a little toilet just here in case you need it, just before you come in, you get too excited. And then we're going to come through the gym. So coming through the gym into our massage area. Now the first thing we do is we put our shoes in this box here because it keeps it really nice when we come into the massage room. So let's come into the massage room. So in the massage room, what we're going to do, the first thing that we do is we're going to sit down here, or you're going to sit down here, and as always, with any kind of thing, we have a bit of paperwork to do first. So in the paperwork is, it's called a clinical consent form. So because we're having a clinical sports massage, you have to consent to what's going on, which means that you're in control all the time. That goes down to how much clothes you want to take off, where you want the massage to happen, how much pressure you want. And as with clinical consent and with any consent, consent can be withdrawn at any time. So that means that if you decide that you don't like it, you can just say, thanks Luke, I'm done now, we can stop, and I'll stop. You can go, I want more pressure, less pressure, I can feel this, I can feel that. You can adjust what's going on. What we do with clinical consent is we talk through, we have a form that I fill in called a SOAP form, and we go through a subjective and objective way of looking at. So that is you telling me what's going on. Then we test to see whether there is an issue and what we can find with the issue, so subjective and objective. And then we'll come up with a plan together on how the massage is going to go. And then you say, yes, that sounds about right. You also have that moment to say, no, that doesn't sound right, Luke. You've completely misunderstood me. It's not my foot, it's my shoulder. Then what happens? So once we've agreed what we're going to do for a massage, then we get ready. So we put a fresh piece of barrier paper like this, goes onto the couch, so that comes over like this, and then we spread it all out. I'm not going to carry on with that because it takes too long. Spread it out, pop it on all the way over, and then we've got a super clean surface for you to lie on for your massage. Now, generally what we find with massage is the more skin we can get to, the better. Now, this is where it becomes very important and you're in control. You take off as much clothing as you want to. So, most people leave their underwear on. Some people don't. It's up to you. I'm pretty good at covering things with a towel. But what we do, ladies, I disappear into my little office over here, close the door, and then I wait for you to tell me that you're ready. Most guys usually are in boxers, jump on and not. If you're guys and you like to go commando, then the best thing to do is just let me know you're going commando and whether you want to jump on with me here or not. That's your choice. So if you're somebody who is quite anxious and doesn't like to take anything off, I have got clients that are like that. We can work through clothing. So one of the best massage therapists in the world is a guy called Mel Cash, and he says if you can't massage someone at the top of Mount Everest when they might have an issue through a ski suit, then it's a problem. But we do find that usually when we get oil, we can get it feels nice to have a long, big fluid strokes on joints and muscles to make them feel better. But you're in control of that. So that's the wonderful thing about clinical consent, is you are in control all the time. You pick the amount of pressure. We start light and add more pressure. You can always say, that's enough for me, Luke, don't want any more. Or the other thing that I think is really important with the massage is that we give you the massage that you want. So for me, I had a massage on my shoulder a couple of years ago in Barcelona. It was on the beach. It was really nice. Had a problem on my shoulder, and the guy kept missing it, and it was really frustrating when I wanted to say go across a bit, up a bit, down a bit. If you have a massage with me, then that's what I want you to do is go, look, it feels like it's up a bit, it's across a bit, down a bit. Remember, I'm here to give you the massage that you want so that you get the response from your body that you want so that you feel better. Because let's be honest, the reason that we have a sports massage, usually we're in pain in the first place and we want to get better. So with that being said, because most people come to me when they're already in pain, sports massage can be uncomfortable at times. So if you've not had one before, you might have heard other people say sports massage is quite uncomfortable and quite painful. The reason for that is generally people come for one when they're already in pain, not before. So that's something that needs to come into consideration. My job is not to put you in pain, it's to relieve the pain. Yes, sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable. If your shoulder's hurting and I touch your shoulder, then it could be uncomfortable. But we also have other ways of doing things here at Club K. So we have cupping. So with sports massage, we put pressure into the muscle to help it release. With cupping, we use a vacuum that lifts off. So cupping comes in little, let's have a look. So this is what a cup looks like. So basically it's a cup and we put a vacuum in it. So we have a little gun, we pop it in like that, and then we create a vacuum, which if you can see in my arm there, has lifted the muscle. So sports massage pushes down into the muscle, vacuuming lifts the muscle, we take it off, and that's all done. And then give it a rub and it returns back to normal. Now sometimes when we've got a problem we get cupping marks, which some people say look like bruises. They're more like a love bite than a bruise. They pull blood through the muscle, and that starts an inflammation response that also brings in fresh blood with new nutrients that can help work. So if you think of a piece of metal, if you bend it one way and bend it the other way, it becomes more pliable and easier to bend. The same with the muscles. A bit of push and a bit of pull can work. I do know that some people don't like to have it done in the summer, especially if they're going on holiday, because they don't want the round cupping marks on. The other thing that we offer here is acupuncture. So with acupuncture, let's get one that you can see. We use disposable needles. So the needles come like this. They're pre-packed. Now acupuncture, I think, can be a kinder one if you're in quite a lot of pain. Certainly something like a frozen shoulder or a sore shoulder, we can put the needles in to do the work without having to push into it a lot. So because they come pre-packed, they come in a little, let's take one of these out so you can see. They come pre-packed, they're disposable, and they're all completely clinical. We take a little bit out, and this is what they look like inside. So inside is a little tube, like a straw, with the needle in, and then it's got a little stopper. And what we do is we take the stopper out, and the needle is still inside, and then you just pop it on, and then pop it into the skin, and the needle is there, just inside the skin. Doesn't hurt too much, short scratch, but it hurts less than having an injection done because it's only a fraction of the size. So that is needling, and then they get thrown away into a dedicated sharp spin. Now I actually keep the sharp spin in my office out of the way so that nobody could ever touch it and we don't have any problems with it. So acupuncture could be another way of working with you that makes things feel better. Another one, if you're in a lot of pain, is hot or cold stone therapy. So I've got over here, it's like a little, it's my little cookbook or hot pot even, there we go. And the stones are inside, we fill it up with water and we make that full of water. And the water heats up and that heats up the stones. And then we use the stones on the body. So let's have a little look. Let's grab. So we get stones like this, And then the way it works, you often see pictures of stones just resting on someone like that, and that's not how they work. So what we do is we get them warm. So where I would normally do massage and I'm pushing my hands through, we do the same thing with the stones. So I might run one stone and then another one. So they're constantly moving, and it's only when they cool down that we might leave them on you. Now I have hot stones, which are made from basalt. Now the basalt one, so that's a volcanic rock. And then I also have cold stones, which are made from marble, and we keep them in the freezer. We've learned that people with fibromyalgia seem to do really well with having a hot stone followed by a cold stone. So hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And this can work very well if you're in pain as well. And the reason is nerves can only do one thing at a time. So if they're feeling pain, and then we give them a heat sensation and then a cold sensation followed by a heat sensation followed by a cold sensation, it seems to give them a bit of like a, oh my gosh, I can't see what's going on, and it almost resets them so that you can feel a lot better. I've noticed that with quite a few of my clients that have fibromyalgia or any of the fibro group of conditions. So that does seem to work quite nicely. I've got to say, I love a hot stone massage. It's comfortable, it's quite nice, and for every one pass with a hot stone can be worth 10 passes of pressing through with a hand on its own. So it can be quite beneficial to do it that way. Again, if you're feeling in pain, when we're feeling in pain, we go and have a hot bath to try and warm the muscles. This is the same thing we use in the stones to give you that heat to warm the muscles to help them to relax and feel better. So if it's your first time coming for a massage, there's all the things that we have here. You can book directly online so that you can just come in and find a time that suits you. So there's not lots of messages coming backwards and forwards. Just go through our website and you can see when I have space available, and you can book in for what you need. When it comes to booking in, we look at time. So I have 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, and an hour and a half appointments. So with everything, you can have 30, 45, and 60-minute appointments, an hour appointment. And that's the entire appointment. That's going through the consent form if it's your first time. That's also going through to find out what's going on and finishing getting dressed. So you're only here for an hour. That includes getting undressed and everything else. So sometimes it's worth talking quite quickly if you've got a problem, not going forever, because then we get you actually doing it. The only one that I do for an hour and a half is the hot stones, and that's a full body on the hot stones. Because it's nice, basically. And if I could have a 2-hour one, I personally would. With the sessions, 30 minutes is great for one body part. So if you've got a bad shoulder, you've got a bad calf, just one small bit, 30 minutes is perfect. If you've got a larger bit, so a whole back, shoulders, neck is hurting, probably 45 minutes. And then if you want the whole body done, then we're looking at about an hour. So we block it that way off. So small area, 30 minutes, medium area, 45 minutes, large area, an hour. So you don't need to book in a consultation unless you're not sure. You can book that in and check first what might be the best thing for you, and then book the appointment. But otherwise, just come straight, book yourself online, come straight in, and we'll get you hopefully feeling better with the right thing that can work for you. Don't worry if you just book a massage and then you sort of go, actually, I think I want some cupping. We can just add cupping in, we can add dry needling in. The only thing that I can't add in is hot stones, because they take an hour to heat up. So I need to know prior for hot stones if that's what you want, because they take a lot longer for the heat to get inside the stones to do the job. But everything else, if you just book an appointment and you come for a massage and we think, oh, it's a great idea to use cups, as quick as I just got them out, I can do that again. And the same with needling. We just have to make sure that you're consenting to have those things, especially when it comes to the needling, because we're going through the skin. So, if it's your first time coming, hopefully this video has helped you to understand what's going to happen and how it does happen. If you've got any more questions, feel free to reach out and I'll answer them as best I can. But hopefully, if you do need a massage, I can help you out with that.